All right, diving into the world of funded accounts today, um, they are pretty appealing, trading with way more capital than you might have yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to actually get your hands on one of these accounts, you've got to prove yourself right, pass these rigorous evaluations, show them you can actually make profits, all while staying within some pretty tight loss limits.
It's all about discipline,
Yeah.
right? And risk management.
Yeah.
But you've got to show them you've got that.
Yeah, you got to be on point.
Yeah.
So we're going deep today into strategies for profitable trading with these funded accounts. And specifically, we're going to focus on using leverage with TradingView and Pepperstone.
Sounds good.
Forget the get-rich-quick stuff.
Yeah, forget that.
We're all about consistent profitability here,
Absolutely.
which is exactly what those funded account providers are looking for.
That's what they want to see.
So first off, why even bother connecting your Pepperstone account to TradingView?
Good question. I think the real advantage there is it's like having the best of both worlds, right? So TradingView has incredibly powerful charting tools,
Oh, yeah.
but when you link it with your Pepperstone account, you can actually execute your trades directly from the charts.
Makes sense.
So it just makes your entire workflow that much smoother and more efficient.
So how do we make that happen? What are the actual steps to connect them?
Sure, it's pretty straightforward. First, you need a Pepperstone Razor account.
Got it.
Then you might need to request a TradingView sub-account through Pepperstone's secure client area.
Okay.
You can double check if that's necessary for your specific account.
Makes sense.
Once you have that sorted, you head over to the trading panel in TradingView.
All right.
You find Pepperstone in the list of brokers, and you just click Connect.
Easy.
You'll enter your Pepperstone login info, authorize the link, and then you're good to go. You can trade right from TradingView.
Awesome. So we're connected. What are the benefits we unlock?
Well, you get access to TradingView's, incredible charting,
Right.
a massive library of technical indicators, and then you can trade without having to switch between platforms.
Love that.
You also get all the social trading features, real-time market data, customizable charts, and in-depth market analysis all in one spot.
So leverage. It's a pretty key concept here, especially with these funded accounts.
Yeah, crucial.
Can you just break it down for us? What is leverage and how do we actually use it with these platforms?
Okay, so leverage, it's like a multiplier.
Okay.
It lets you control a larger position in the market than the capital you actually have your margin.
Got it.
It's expressed as a ratio. So, for example, you might see something like 1.10,
Okay.
which means for every euro you put up, you can control 100 euros worth of assets.
So you can really amplify your buying power.
Exactly. But here's the thing you've got to remember.
Yeah.
It magnifies both profits and losses.
Right.
So risk management becomes absolutely essential.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, you have to be smart about it.
So how do we actually place a leverage trade in TradingView once we're all set up with Pepperstone?
All right, so you'll use the order panel on the right side of your chart,
Good.
choose buy or sell,
Right.
and then you pick your order type.
Got it.
So you've got market orders,
Mhm.
limit orders, stop limit orders, and even bracket orders.
Lots of choices.
Right, and each one has its own purpose. Market orders are for immediate execution.
Right.
Limit orders let you buy or sell at a specific price or better.
Makes sense.
Stop orders trigger a trade if the price hits a certain level.
Got it.
Stop limits combine those two.
Okay.
And bracket orders automatically set your stop loss and take profit levels.
So it's like a safety net.
Exactly.
Nice.
You then decide how much you want to trade, define your stop loss, and take profit levels. You can do this by price, pips, or percentage, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
And then simply click buy or sell.
Easy enough.
And of course, you can adjust or cancel any open orders as needed.
Right. You have that flexibility.
Yeah.
So understanding those different order types sounds pretty important,
It's crucial.
especially with leverage.
Exactly. You need to know how to implement your strategies effectively and manage your risk, especially with stop loss orders.
Absolutely. So we're connected. We know how to place trades.
Okay.
What kind of trading strategies work well with funded accounts?
This is where things get interesting because your strategies need to align with the rules of the funded account.
Right.
And a lot of these accounts, they reward consistency.
Makes sense.
So you'll see people using things like breakout trading,
Okay.
where they're waiting for the price to break through key support or resistance levels,
Right.
often using indicators like MACD.
Got it.
Then there's trend following, which is all about riding an established trend.
Yeah.
Using tools like moving averages and ADX.
Makes sense.
Scalping is another one. Very short-term trades for smaller gains.
Interesting.
But you got to have really tight risk controls.
Yeah, those small losses can add up quickly.
Exactly. Then there's range trading.
Okay.
You buy low at support and sell high at resistance. Classic. And a lot of traders also build their strategies around specific technical indicators like Bollinger Bands, RSI, or they analyze candlestick patterns.
So lots of options.
Yeah, tons.
How do you even begin to choose a strategy?
So the key is to backtest rigorously.
Okay.
You test your strategy using historical data,
Right.
and you see how it would performed.
Makes sense.
Then you have to adapt it to the current market conditions and, crucially, the specific rules of your funded account.
Yeah, super important.
Things like maximum daily loss or specific profit targets.
Risk management, always key, right? Especially with leverage and limited capital.
It's absolutely essential because with leverage, your losses can be amplified.
Exactly.
So what are the techniques you need? First up, always use stop-loss orders.
Okay.
You can set these based on a percentage of your capital, key technical levels, or even volatility using something like ATR,
Right.
average true range.
Got it.
Position sizing is also critical.
Yeah. How much to risk on each trade?
Exactly. You got to calculate that properly. It's got to be proportional.
Right. Common one is the 1% rule,
Okay.
where you risk no more than 1% of your trading capital on any single trade.
So you're not blowing up your account.
Exactly. And finally, understand margin calls.
Right. What are those?
So a margin call happens when the equity in your account drops below the required level to keep your trades open.
Okay.
And your broker might ask you to add more funds.
Or close the position.
Or close the position, yeah.
Ouch.
Not fun.
Okay, so we had a listener ask about turning 17 euros into 170 euros quickly.
Ambitious.
What's the reality check there?
Well, if we're talking about realistic trading, aiming for a 10x return on such a small amount
Yeah.
and such a short time frame,
Yeah.
exceptionally risky.
Right.
It will probably require extremely high leverage,
Yeah.
which it is available,
Mm-hmm.
but generally not recommended for sustainable trading.
Yeah. I mean, a small move against you and you're wiped out.
Exactly.
Well,
Even a
the-
small, unexpected price move could wipe out your entire initial capital.
So slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, I think so.
The big, fast gains are tempting, but with funded accounts, you
Yeah.
know, it's about consistent, smaller gains
Absolutely.
while following your risk management rules.
That's the way to go.
Okay, so let's talk about Pepperstone's leverage offerings specifically.
Yeah.
What do they have, and how does that play into a trader's decisions?
Sure. So Pepperstone offers different leverage levels based on, regulatory requirements and your account type,
Makes sense.
whether you're a retail client or a professional client.
Okay,
And retail clients typically have lower maximum leverage.
okay.
So for example, for major Forex pairs,
Mm-hmm.
a retail client might have access to leverage up to 1.30,
Okay,
while a professional client could potentially access much higher ratios.
got it.
And these levels also vary across different asset classes.
All right, so it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Exactly. And it's important to remember higher leverage does offer the potential for bigger profits,
Right, yeah.
but also significantly increases your risk.
Right, two sides of the same coin. So choose your leverage carefully,
Yeah.
based on your risk tolerance, your strategy, and the volatility of what you're trading.
Exactly. And beginners, they should probably start with lower leverage.
I ease into it.
Yeah, get comfortable.
So you can find the specific leverage offered for different assets on Pepperstone's website.
Absolutely.
So what kind of tools do TradingView and Pepperstone offer
Mm-hmm.
to help traders manage risk and actually analyze the markets effectively?
Well, the good thing is there's a lot of integration here, right?
Yeah.
So TradingView's community has created a lot of position size calculators
Oh, cool.
where you can input your account balance, risk percentage, stop loss distance,
Okay.
and it'll calculate the appropriate trade size for you.
Takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. And Pepperstone actually offers their own position size calculator as well.
Okay.
And then for MetaTrader users,
Mm-hmm.
Pepperstone's Smart Trader tools include some really helpful expert advisors for risk management.
So you've got options.
Yeah, definitely.
But using these calculators is key.
It's crucial. It helps prevent over-leveraging.
Absolutely. And for analysis, TradingView's charting is really powerful.
Yeah, it's top-notch.
You've got all these chart types, tons of technical indicators, drawing tools, real-time data,
It's all there,
and it even supports custom indicators and backtesting.
which are really valuable for developing and refining your strategies.
Right, and setting your stop loss and take profit levels.
Exactly.
So to wrap this all up, what are some best practices for using leverage responsibly?
Okay, well, Responsible leverage use starts with choosing a conservative leverage ratio,
Yeah,
especially when you're starting out.
right.
Don't go crazy. Always use stop-loss orders.
Absolutely.
Monitor your open trades regularly
Stay on top of it.
and avoid making those impulsive emotional decisions.
Easy to do, tough to avoid sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough, but you've got to stay disciplined.
Right.
Adjust your position size based on market volatility.
Okay.
Have clear profit targets and exit strategies.
Right. Know when to get out.
Yeah, and definitely practice on a demo account before you trade with real money.
Right. Get comfortable.
Yeah.
So continuous learning is also key.
It is.
Stay informed about the markets.
Absolutely.
Be willing to adapt.
Absolutely be open to new information.
So the key takeaway here isn't to chase those massive gains with crazy leverage.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
It's about well thought out trading strategies
Exact.
combined with consistent risk management
Yes.
and using the tools available on platforms like TradingView and through brokers like Pepperstone.
Absolutely.
While those big returns are tempting, remember, focusing on steady profitability, managing your risk, that's the sustainable path, especially for these funded accounts.
Absolutely. Consistency is key.
Fantastic insights. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
You're welcome.
And to all of you listening, remember that succeeding with funded accounts is all about consistent effort, disciplined execution, and always being open to learning new things in the markets.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a journey,
It is.
but it can be a very rewarding one.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.
It was a pleasure being here.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.